जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदा यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदा यमुना तीरा बनचारी यमुना यमुना तीरा बनचारी यमुना तीरा जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parichikacharya Shtotra Sata Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanand Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki All glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna, all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna, all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Nigama kalpataror ghalitam phalam sukhamukadamrita dravasamyutam pivata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvibhavukaha narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We are reading Bhagavatam, Amala Puran, 3rd canto, chapter 23, titled Devotee's Lamentation, verse number 8. It is there on the board. If you can repeat after me. Anye punar bhagavato bhruva udvijṛmbha anye punar bhagavato bhruva udvijṛmbha vibhraṁśitārtha-racanāḥ urukramasya vibhraṁśitārtha-racanāḥ urukramasya siddhāsi bhuṅkṣva vibhavān nija-dharma-dohān siddhāsi bhuṅkṣva vibhavān nija-dharma-dohān divyān narair duradhigān nṛpa-vikriyābhiḥ divyān narair duradhigān nṛpa-vikriyābhiḥ anye punar bhagavato bhruva udvijṛmbha vibhraṁśitārtha-racanāḥ urukramasya siddhāsi bhuṅkṣva vibhavān nija-dharma-dohān divyān narair duradhigān nṛpa-vikriyābhiḥ anye punar bhagavato dhruva udvijṛmbha vibhraṁśitārtha-racanāḥ किम् urukramasya siddhāsi bhuṅkṣva vibhavān nija-dharma-dohān divyān narair duradhigān nṛpa-vikriyābhiḥ anye punar bhagavato bhruva udvijṛmbha vibhraṁśitārtha-racanāḥ किम् urukramasya siddhāsi bhuṅkṣva vibhavān nija-dharma-dohān divyān narair duradhigān nṛpa-vikriyābhiḥ. Mataji. Anye punar bhagavato dhruva udvijṛmbha vibhraṁśitārtha-racanāḥ किम् urukramasya siddhāsi bhuṅkṣva vibhavān nija-dharma-dohān divyān narair duradhigān nṛpa-vikriyābhiḥ. Word to word meaning, please repeat after me. Anye, others. Punaḥ, again. Bhagavatāḥ, of the Lord. Bhruvaḥ, of the eyebrows. Udvijṛmbha, by the movement. Vibhraṁśita, annihilated. Artha-racanāḥ, material achievements. Kim, what use? Urukramasya, of Lord Viṣṇu, far stepping. Siddhā, successful. Asi, you are. bhuṅkṣva, enjoy. Vibhavān, the gifts. Nija-dharma, by your own principles of devotion. Dohān, gained. Divyān, transcendental. Narair, by persons. Duradhigān, difficult to obtain. nṛpa-vikriyābhiḥ, proud of aristocracy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Kardama Muni continued, what is the use of enjoyments other than the Lord's grace? All material achievements are subject to be annihilated simply by the movement of the eyebrows of Lord Viṣṇu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By your principles of devotion to your husband, you have achieved and can enjoy transcendental gifts very rarely obtained by persons proud of aristocracy and material possessions. Purport. Lord Chaitanya recommended that the great achievement of human life is to achieve the grace of the Lord, love of God. He said, Prema pumartho mahan. To achieve love of Godhead is the highest perfection of life. The same perfection is recommended by Kardama Muni to his wife. His wife belonged to a very aristocratic family, or aristocratic royal family. Generally, those who are very materialistic or who possess material wealth and prosperity are unable to appreciate the value of transcendental love of God. Although Devahuti was a princess coming from a very great royal family, fortunately she was under the supervision of her great husband, Kardama Muni, who offered her the best gift which can be bestowed in human life, the grace of Lord or love of God. This grace of the Lord was achieved by Devahuti by the goodwill and satisfaction of her husband. She served her husband, who was a great devotee and saintly person, with great sincerity, love, affection and service, and Kardama Muni was satisfied. He willingly gave love of God and he recommended that she accept it and enjoy it because he had already achieved it. Love of God is not an ordinary commodity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was worshipped by Rupa Goswami because he distributed love of God, Krishna Prema, to everyone. Rupa Goswami praised him as Mahavadanya, a greatly munificent personality, because he was freely distributing to everyone love of Godhead which is achieved by wise men only after many, many births. Krishna prema, Krishna consciousness, is the highest gift which can be bestowed on anyone whom we presume to love. One word used in the verse, nija-dharma-dohān, is very significant. Devahuti, as a wife of Kardama Muni, achieved an invaluable gift from her husband because she was very faithful to him. For a woman, the first principle of religion is to be faithful to her husband. If, fortunately, the husband is a great personality, then the combination is perfect, and the lives of both the wife and the husband are at once fulfilled. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Viṣṇu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langate girim yatkrupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhava Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Namo Viṣṇu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Tinamni Nama Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripapdayane Gaura Katanavadaya Nagara Gramtani Katanjana Smriteryasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Vismrite Viparitam Syat Shri Chaitanya Namamitam. Hare Krishna. We are discussing 3rd canto, 23rd chapter, 8th verse. We have moved a long way starting from the 1st canto. So, little bit of recollection of what has happened in the 3rd canto. 3rd canto is entitled Status Quo. Status Quo. In this, Parikshit is asking this about the meeting of Vidura and Maitreya. This entire chapter is basically conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. So, first 4 chapters starts with the introduction between Uddhava and Vidura guides, Uddhava guides Vidura to go to Maitreya. After that, first 4 chapters are that, and then 5th chapter, Vidura asks about Purushavataras, Leela-avataras and other things, which gets explained till chapter 12. And Vidura then asks about Swayambhuva Manu and his lineage. Chapter 13 to 19, these pastimes are of Lord Varaha are explained. Then Vidura again asks about Visarga, how is the secondary creation done? And he asks about Swayambhuva Manu's dynasty. The answers to this Swayambhuva Manu's dynasty will span across 3rd canto, 4th canto and 5th canto. And in this section, Maitreya Muni is elaborating about the daughter Devahuti of Swayambhuva Manu and her husband, good husband Kardama Muni. These 3 chapters, 21, 22, 23, are the chapters where Kardama Muni is first doing his austerities towards the Lord. The Lord appears and the Lord says that I have selected a girl for you, she is going to come. And then Devahuti already knows that she is going to bear the Supreme Personality of Godhead in her womb. So Manu gets Devahuti to Kardama and they both meet and they both agree. And now we are in this verse where this is entitled Devahuti's Lamentation. Now if you see this chapter, I'm sure the previous speakers have already spoken, that if you see this chapter, the entire chapter is filled up with details of how they enjoyed in the aerial mansion. Now, in this particular verse, Kardama Muni is saying, what is the use of enjoyments other than the Lord's grace? All material achievements are subject to be annihilated simply by the movement of the eyebrows of the Lord Viṣṇu, the Supreme Personality of God. By your principles of devotion to your husband, you have achieved and can enjoy transcendental gifts, very rarely obtained by persons proud of aristocracy and material possessions. He is giving her love of Godhead. He is offering her love of Godhead. So it is not easy for somebody to offer love of Godhead. This entire combination of Devahuti and Kardama is so exemplary for all devotees who are practicing in Krishna consciousness, regardless of what ashrama they are in. Especially for the Grihastha ashrama, we are able to see qualities of husband and wife. What should one do and what should one expect? How should one behave? It is there. And yesterday Guru Maharaj also was telling that this is also relationship between the disciple and the Guru. How should a disciple behave with the Guru? How should the service be done? So, lot of learnings that is there. Kardama Muni is no ordinary Muni. He did everything as per the will of the Lord. Even marriage for that matter. He took the permission of the Lord and the Lord selected the wife for him. He did not go about selecting his own wife. This is the first learning which we get. How should a person try to find a life partner is through proper counsel and guidance. Kardama Muni is doing this. Many of the couples which we see in Krishna consciousness also are going through this particular format. And then they find the husband and wife according to their karma and according to their previous whatever activities they have done. So what we have to learn in this particular section is how they behave with each other without trying to shackle the other person for the need for comfort. Now Kardama Muni, when he saw Devahuti, and Devahuti was serving him so nicely, she served him as a wife should serve a husband, dutifully. So in the previous verses we read how Devahuti served Kardama Muni. A few characteristics are there which we read. What is that? Vibhraṁśita, with intimacy she served. With lot of intimacy, a disciple to the Guru or a husband to the wife or a wife to the husband. Generally, Vedically it is recommended that the wife serves the husband. Does not mean the other way, that is not true. There is also service from the husband to the wife, because husband is guiding the wife towards Krishna consciousness. That is the duty of the husband. Now one might question, oh, I should only serve vṛṣṇ. What will the husband do? So there are a lot of questions which these kind of conversations can come up, saying that, oh, this is a one-sided conversation. Only we are telling about the wife serving the husband. The husband is not going to do anything. Vedically, the wife is serving the husband and husband is guiding the wife. So there is reciprocation. So if there is submission and service attitude between husband and wife, this Kardama Muni and Devahuti's combination and then what they achieved could be achieved by others. Modern life, if you have to juxtapose modern couples which is available now, I would not say it is impossible to find a Kardama and a Devahuti. My understanding is that it is the chances of finding all the characters of Kardama in one person is a little difficult in the Kali Yuga. And similarly, all characteristics of Devahuti to be found in one person, one wife, is also little difficult. And that person with all characters marrying this person with all the characters is almost very difficult. Its probability is multiplying with each other. It becomes a smaller number. If that is the case, then what is the application of this knowledge of Devahuti and Kardama? As practicing devotees, we can identify how Kardama dealt with Devahuti, how Devahuti dealt with Kardama, and see if we can introspect. Because Krishna has asked all of us to be the introspective sage. Introspective sage for whom the outside world activities are, their morning is our day and our day is their morning. So once we commit to Krishna consciousness, take the shelter of Krishna and Guru, we are trying to be that introspective sage. When we achieve that, at what time or how many years we'll take to achieve that, it is left to our attitude. Because Prabhupada writes in the purport, the achievements of a Krishna conscious devotee or a practicing devotee depends on the attitude. How seriously we are able to take up the advice given by Guru and Acharyas to go on this path. If that is what it is, then we have, as if at all, the soul which is hosted in a woman's body is a wife, could identify Devahuti's characters. Viṣṇu with intimacy she served. Can I serve my Guru with intimacy? Can I serve my husband with intimacy? Atma Shauchena, with purity of mind and body. How do we serve with purity of mind and body? We have to identify areas of activities where we can use our body and mind to purify it and then serve the purpose of the husband. Here, the understanding is that the purpose of the husband is to become Krishna conscious and lead others to become Krishna conscious. If there is other purposes, then probably the person is not serving a Kardama Muni kind of a person. And then Gauravena with respect, Dhamena with control senses, Sushrushaya with service, Sauhrudena with love, and Madhuraya Vacha with sweet words. Many times I have seen marriage counselors and people who are counseling couples, they tell the husband and wife, if nothing, can't you just speak good words? Can't you just speak good, sweet words? So, the characteristic what Devahuti had, the counselors are actually using it to say, can't you at least do this much? So, there is come to that. So, at a point where we are trying to have a marriage which is centering around Krishna, that itself is a great achievement. But when husband and wife come together and try to serve each other, then we can see whether that characteristic of Kardama is there in me. Can I, knowing that my wife does not have the characteristics of Devotee, can still also accept the person? This is our understanding which we could have. So, in this section, where Kardama is actually offering love of Godhead to Devahuti, Devahuti is, what is she asking next? She is asking, can you, my dear Lord, use your yogic powers and create something where we can enjoy? Looks like I am offering you love of Godhead and you are asking a mansion, a place where we can enjoy. Nothing wrong in Devahuti's asking what she asked for, but knowing that she was supposed to host the Lord of the Supreme Lord in her womb, and knowing that Kardama Muni had the quality of giving her liberation, and knowing that Kardama Muni himself had achieved love of Godhead, even after that, when she chose the mode of passion to execute her will, looks like, oh, did she miss the bus or delay the bus? We could argue like that. So it is like, oh, any which ways the Lord is going to come into my womb. Why not enjoy and also have the Lord in my womb? One of the possible theories that could come into mind. But Devahuti choosing this particular method of trying to ask Kardama to give her aspects where she could enjoy, this itself Kardama Muni had already anticipated, saying that if you choose something else, you will go towards fear and lamentation. What was the fear she had? First fear she will have in the future, which we will see in the next verses, is that she will say, this place doesn't seem like a place where we should unite. Can you create something? So, and also when she saw that the maiden servants were so beautiful looking, she saw herself, her emancipated body. She said, am I looking good enough for you? So can you do something to change my composition? So Kardama Muni helped her to do that also. So the maid servants took her to a sarovara and she dipped and she came out looking like a goddess. So there was fear saying that, am I looking good? Is it good enough? Will I be losing this opportunity? This fear was there, and when all activity in the next few verses, the entire chapter, I think 15, 20 verses, the explanation of how the aerial mansion was and how they went from different places, how many years together they enjoyed in different places is there. But at the end, when Kardama helps her to have 9 great daughters, after that Kardama says, okay, I'm done, bye. Devahuti at that point had her lamentation, saying that, oh, I could have asked for love of Godhead, I could have asked for much more, but I chose this particular route. She speaks something on the lines of, which says that I could have done something better, but now, because your association is more important for me, can you please give me fearlessness now? She asks at the end of this chapter. So when she asks for fearlessness, Kardama Muni consoles her, saying that don't worry, whatever you have done is not so wrong, it's okay. Then he advises our devotional service, and she continues doing her devotional service. When she does devotional service, and later on Kapila Muni is born in her womb. After that, Kardama Muni, with permission of Kapila, actually goes for renunciation. He takes Mauna as the method and goes to the forest. Now, as practicing devotees, if we are able to take brahmacharya in this life and scratch off the grihastha ashrama, good enough. That is few problems sorted. But as we see the composition of our institution, 90% or 95% people are in the grihastha ashrama. So if grihastha ashrama is there, and we have taken it for because of whatever we have desires we have, and this grihastha ashrama we are using it for the purpose of developing our Krishna consciousness and implementing our life goals of having Krishna prema through grihastha ashrama. This is fantastic. But what we are missing, which Kardama Muni and Devahuti are telling with their life, is most people do not plan for a vanaprastha. A vanaprastha is the most ignored ashrama of our society. There are rules on how to become a brahmachari. There are courses. Then there are methods of evaluation, and then there are guidance. Everything is there. And then there is grihastha ashrama. There is Vaishnava marriage bureau, which helps people to get with each other. Then counseling for marriage. And then there is sannyas ashram. There is a huge set of rules and regulations to be followed, and then sannyas is awarded. One sannyasi was joking offline, saying that actually when we apply for sannyas, the rules and regulations of sannyas ministry is so strict that it feels like as though we should take sannyas from applying for sannyas. So it was like very difficult for somebody to get sannyas in ISKCON. However, having said all this, the ashrama between grihastha and sannyas, which is basically the probation for taking sannyas, is one thing which needs to focus. Devahuti and Kardama gives us that inspiration. That okay, even if Devahuti chose the mode of passion, why did he choose the mode of passion? Because her composition was like that. Okay, she was made like that. Nothing wrong. Prabhupada doesn't have any negative comments about there are so many comments made about other people who chose, like Daksha's episode. When Daksha, of all the prayers, when he chooses, saying that after all the prayers, he says, okay, give me power to procreate. They says, oh, what is this? He could have asked for something better. So there is no negativity which Prabhupada brings about in Devahuti's actions, because Devahuti did whatever she did, which is right as per her composition. And Kardama Muni understood her position and facilitated her life without arguing and questioning. I could have given you Krishna Prem. What are you asking, my dear? He never said that. Because what happens is that when the person who is capable of giving Krishna Prem and we go and ask something lower, if the other person ridicules, then the entire purpose is lost. It is like operation success, patient dead. The person might lose the entire interest towards Krishna consciousness if the counselor who is trying to counsel somebody uses a tone which is very ridiculing. So Kardama Muni never did that. Devahuti is definitely not in the right frame of mind when she asked for it. But what did Kardama Muni do is what, as if you are in a male body, we have to understand that. How to interact with a person who doesn't have the same mindset as yourself. If the other person doesn't have the same mindset, how did Kardama Muni interact with Devahuti? He facilitated whatever she wanted. Prabhupada comments in many of his purports, a wife should always be given with ample amount of jewels and facilities, because the female mindset needs it, is what he says. There is not of course there is any comment on of Prabhupada where he is speaking about what should a female do, what should a wife do. It could be a feminist playground, saying, oh, come on, what is this? Are we lower? Nobody is saying lower or higher. It has been just told that there are different activities which a male does, a different activity which a female does. So nothing right or wrong about it. This is how the composition is. Anyway, we will not digress into that. So Kardama Muni and Devahuti have shown in their life of how a devotee could actually, couple could interact with each other, how the student or the disciple could serve the spiritual master in such a way that Devahuti serves Kardama Muni in such a way that he did not even ask. She understands the mind of the husband and she serves. So it is like Guru not even asking, the disciple should know what the Guru wants. After understanding the Guru in such a way, we should serve. Similarly, the wife should serve the husband in such a way that without the husband asking for it, the wife should give what he wants. One person was joking, saying that nowadays even if you ask 100 times, it doesn't come. What about trying to get things which we don't ask? And my wife specifically told, don't make any wife jokes in this class. So I'm not going to make these jokes. So Kardama Muni and Devahuti have given that example of how to behave with each other respectfully. This learning is there. The second part of the purport, Prabhupada speaks about prema pumarto mahan. The great achievement of human life is prema pumarto mahan. What is Krishna prema is such a great achievement that one can do in this life. Using grihasthashrama, we can achieve Krishna prema. It is what many acharyas of ours have confirmed it. That you need not actually, even Chaitanya Charitamrita confirms is that, grihetako, vanetako, you be a vanaprasthi, you be a sannyasi, you be whatever, it's okay, you can achieve it. So when our acharyas have recommended to actually go behind Krishna prema, but even then it looks like a little lofty for us to start with. As in the beginning, when we come into Krishna consciousness, from day one we are taught, what is the purpose of life? Krishna prema, Krishna prema. But how do we go towards it? They said chanting we should do. First, when we came into Krishna consciousness, they said chant 1 round, and then slowly they said 16. Then they said someday you have to go to 64. All those things, slowly they'll try to progress us. But how do we go from wherever we are to Krishna prema? So one devotee was mentioning, it is very thoughtful of how to progress. We cannot directly pray for Krishna prema because we don't even know how it looks like. We're not in a position to appreciate, even if it is there in front of us, people have it, we're not in a position to appreciate that. So first is, if chanting is the method, first we could probably ask for stability in chanting. That is, you First, physical stability. The second part is that you ask for attention in chanting. So request for attention in chanting, because that will one day lead to Krishna prema pramartu mahan. Of the human life, the purpose is prema, and so for the first step to achieve prema is attention in chanting. After attention in chanting is achieved for a while, we could then request the Lordship for attraction to chanting. If there is no attraction towards chanting and we are doing it mechanically, we can do it all our life, but we will not cross the offensive chanting without attraction. After attraction is achieved, we could always pray for affection to chanting. So these three stages, one by one, attention, attraction, and affection will lead us to prema pumarto mahan, or Krishna prema. But when we say our stated goal is Krishna prema, we should focus and be the introspective sage and understand what is it that we are doing in order to go there. Are all our activities going towards it or not going towards it? We say Krishna prema is required, but because we have to focus on our actions. As practitioners, at whatever stage we are, we always have some room for improvement. If there is no room for improvement, then probably the person has stopped practicing. If we don't introspect, saying that there is still room for improvement, then probably that is a very dangerous position to be. So when we are introspecting and seeing that there is stage for improvement, we could always see how we are using our time in order to go towards Krishna prema. If at all we are practicing seriously and committed, taken initiation, and some of us taken the second initiation, and then we said what next? Then what next is basically being very serious. Serious means what? Serious means doing everything which is required to go towards Krishna in this life. Madhvacharya says that 3 lives are required to go back home, back to Godhead. He says first life you understand, you get introduced to Krishna consciousness and take seriously. Second life you are a brahmachari, and the third life you take sannyas, and only after that you go back home, back to Godhead. No, but Prabhupada said this life it's possible, and we are Prabhupada Anugas. So Prabhupada Anugas, we hope and pray that Prabhupada has taken a discount for us, and in one life we can go back home, back to Godhead. But how will we go back home, back to Godhead? If you are watching YouTube yesterday for nonsense and scrolling, what is that? Shorts. Okay, YouTube shorts. I was hearing Amarendra Prabhu. He said, you keep on using YouTube shorts, your life is getting only shorter. That by 1 minute or whatever that takes. So if you're scrolling YouTube senselessly today, tomorrow we can't achieve Krishna prema, or we cannot go back home, back to Godhead. It has to be a life of commitment, a life which is avyartha kalatvam. Avyartha kalatvam. So if you have decided to go with that process of anukulasya sankalpam, whatever is favorable, let us accept it. What is it that we have to accept? We have to accept that we should not waste time. We should, so many things, but Krishna has very nicely summarized what is anukulasya sankalpa, or what is it that we can achieve in our life in the chapter 13, verse 8 to 12. Amanitvam, madambitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam. These 20 items, if you are able to achieve in our life, it should be considered as anukulasya sankalpa. All these are anukulasya sankalpa. While we are trying to achieve those 20 items, we could probably spend a few million lifetimes. But if we achieve that, then after that lifetime is good enough for us to go back home, back to Godhead. But Prabhupada said, this life is possible. If we are following Guru's words without any kind of discount. Without any kind of discount. If you are able to follow Guru's orders without offense, this life is good enough. Yesterday Guru Maharaj also is saying that Guru's orders, if you are able to avahelanam, if you are disrespecting the Guru's orders, then there is no cure for that kind of an offense. And one of the Guru's orders is to chant offenselessly. If you're chanting offenselessly, then you can go back home, back to Godhead. But if you're not chanting offenselessly, it is not possible. many things that we can learn from this particular episode of Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Many stalwart devotees are here who can churn this verse much better than what I did. So we will use this time sort of to use it for churning this verse. We could have questions, realizations and comments, corrections. I'll open it up. Rabeshwar Prabhu.
Thank you for that class and for helping us understand a platform of humanity that we can't even imagine. Kardama Muni is such a pure soul. He can give love of Krishna to others, which is unbelievable.
Yes.
And also, he could create a flying house. In fact, one of the purports, Prabhupada said he can create a planet by his mystic powers. So this person is so beyond our imagination exalted. And Devahuti gave up everything in serving him, but somehow she recognized that he had been given the instruction to also produce progeny. And that was her purpose also. So this is just, these topics should not be brought down to our level.
Yes, yes.
And there are some verses and purports coming up where there is a tendency that might happen.
Yeah.
So thank you for that class, because you kept us above the mundane bodily concept. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful session. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Prabhuji, my question is related to the verse which you have taken today. The struggle is going on within us, and we know the fact that we have to take examples, and we have been listening and hearing from past many years. But still, is it because of the Kali, or is it because of our anarthas, or is it because of what exactly is the reason that we are still suffering, we are still struggling with what we should not be? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you for the question, Mataji. Everybody is trying to understand, why is it happening to me? Why is this? I'm trying, but why is this still not happening, or why is the result not coming? So, in my humble opinion, others could add. There is a verse which I don't remember, but it says that it is not because of the Kala, it is not because of the Daiva, it is not because of many other parameters, but it's only because of my mind that I am suffering. There is a verse like this. So this mind of ours, which is the strongest of all the senses, among all the 6 senses, 6th is the mind, and that is the strongest. And that mind could actually deviate our activities into so many other things. While we are chanting, our mind could take us from London to New York to Dubai and back here in 3 seconds. That is the speed of the mind. Arjuna himself says that I could control the wind but not my mind. And there is Vedic comparisons of how the mind is. They say the mind is it is like a monkey. Not just a monkey, but an intoxicated monkey. Not just an intoxicated monkey, but an intoxicated monkey which has been bitten by a scorpion. Not just that which is bitten by a scorpion, but is also possessed by a ghost. This is the explanation of the mind. So if this is the mind which we have, the mind can take us from everywhere and then keep us unpeaceful in whichever situation we are in. To relate to your question, the mind can make us believe that something else is more important than my Krishna conscious activity. This is our mind. The mind will never allow us to completely surrender unless and until we pray to the Lord. Because the Lord says among all the senses, He is the mind. We pray to the Lord saying that please help me control my mind, then He will give that association which will make us serious enough to keep everything aside and say sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Right? So those Vrajavasis surrendered to the Lord without asking a second question. Have we done that? This is an introspective question. Some of you might have. I have not. I still prioritize so many other things than surrendering to Krishna. Because my mind convinces me saying that, oh, no, we can do something later, or this much is enough. Not enough. That is the truth. So the moment we get to know at the back of the mind, we are there, holding the reins with the intelligence, we are convinced that whatever we are doing is not enough. But the mind is not allowing us to do. If mind is not allowing us to do the things which we are supposed to do and we are convinced, then where can there be peace? There is no peace. Because there is no peace, we are still waiting for a miracle to happen. That without completely surrendering, let me get it. That is why we ask Prabhupada, is there a discount? Prabhupada gave discount till 70%. Whatever that meant, he said, 70% you surrender, I will take you home back to Godhead. Whatever that meant, it does not mean that I will follow 7 out of 10 regulations which is given by my Guru. It does not mean that. It only probably means that it's okay to be a little here and there, but I will take care. But little here and there, how much is little here and there? I don't know. So I don't want to take the discount. So let me try 100%. And if Krishna calculates that as 70%, Prabhupada is there to defend me. But the answer, in my opinion, is our mind is in such a position that we are not able to surrender, or we don't want to surrender because of our vasana. And we know it. This is the beauty of it. Beauty of it is every practicing devotee knows that my surrender is not good enough for this life. Okay? If everybody is nodding like this, then probably I am not the only one. Okay? So, if everybody knows that we are surrendered enough, good is not good enough, this is like Devahuti here. We could compare it to it. Devahuti did exactly what a wife is supposed to do for her husband. It was good, very, very good, but not good enough for Krishna Prem. Because she had to wait, Kardama Muni had to come, console her, give devotional service, and then when she did devotional service, along with that served her husband, she got Kapila. So, if that is the question we have, that what should I do to become perfect or go back home, back to Godhead, get Krishna Prem, the answer is that we know the answer, that what we are not doing. Nobody else need to tell us. We exactly know where we are faltering. And sometimes you do it or saying that, okay, it's okay, what to do. Sometimes we console ourselves saying that my vasana is like that, no. Last birth, probably I was doing this, because of which I am not so serious about this. I can't be like you, I can't be like him. They are all pure devotees. Don't compare them with me. This mind tells us, oh, why should I compare myself to Guru Maharaj? Guru Maharaj is Parshad of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I can't do what he does. So, I know we can't do what he does. We are not supposed to compare. All those things are correct. But the level of surrender, if we know that people can surrender to that extent, can't we attempt, is what I thought should be the direction in which we should think. Is that okay, Mantaj? Thank you, sir. Rameshwar Prabhu.
That's what you just did.
Sorry?
You just explained the mind is impossible to overcome.
Yes.
By our strength, we cannot So, with that
Background.
impossibility, what is the positive that will enable us to not be controlled by the mind? Because you just made it seem like the mind is irrepressible, unconquerable, so powerful.
Yeah.
So then, what is there for us as tiny jivas trapped in these bodies and minds to not be driven away by the mind? What's the solution?
I will attempt an answer. You could correct me. In my opinion, if we do not go with what our mind wants and only go by what the Shastras are recommending in any situation, having Guru, Sadhu and Shastra as a triangulation and have association of devotees who are trying to practice that good triangulation and also go by what is being told in the Shastra as the solution for every action that we have to take, regardless of what my mind wants, probably will go in the right direction. And to the right answer now.
So, from what I understand, we shouldn't expect instant end of struggle.
Correct.
That thought is not realistic. But rather, if we are sincere enough, and as we struggle, and if the mind temporarily defeats us, we just get up, continue practicing, and continue to have faith that one day Prabhupada and Lord Paramatma will awaken us the way Kardama Muni just awakened Devahuti.
Jai Ho.
But in the meantime, don't expect instant relief from the struggle. Even if we have to struggle our entire life, but look at where we'll end up if we don't leave, if we keep practicing.
Jai Ho.
That's how I try to think of it.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji has a comment.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
You said that Vanaprastha-ashrama is if I understood, most neglected in this society. Could you tell us why? And
It will eventually get developed. But at the moment, we don't have proper systems, is what I was observing. Which I might be wrong. Maybe I have not explored it properly. But not as much as we have for grihasthas and brahmacharis and sannyasis. So in comparison, the Vanaprastha ashram is a little neglected, is what I was saying.
it means that if 95% of devotees are in grihastha ashrama, it means in this part, most of them are staying grihastha till the end of their life.
Yes, that is what is happening.
Which was, we have to go through this Vanaprastha ashrama if we want to
Ideally,
to complete our practice, right?
ideally, at least Vanaprastha, if not sannyas,
Yeah,
at
sannyas,
least
I'm not talking
Vanaprastha.
about sannyas, but Vanaprastha should be kind of
Yes.
mandatory.
At least, we, like how we are saying that we will achieve Krishna Prema in this life, at least we must have a theoretical plan to go towards Vanaprastha one day. And Shastra says, Pancho Varshat Vanam Vrajet, 50. The husband turns 50, you go take Vanaprastha. But if people are going second degree and third degree and completing their education at 32, 35, and then the parents have forced the children to earn, and at 18 they don't at 50 they don't have enough savings, they will not think about Vanaprastha till 60, and then there is almost time to take sannyas. So it's like this is all interwoven on how to start understanding life in terms of what is important, how much education is important, how much money earning is important. It all is, it's a culmination of it. It's a bigger topic and a big class, I think, the question which you have asked, but in this direction.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Because we cannot make ourselves by our own strength pure devotees, Krishna conscious.
Yes.
Prabhupada emphasized, seek out the association of strong devotees, become
Yes.
their friends. Look at their example and follow, but get close to them. The association of devotees will enable everyone to overcome their mind.
Jai.
That's what Prabhupada said.
Yes.
That association of devotees is the secret to success.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Okay, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki